Hello and welcome to another SH Figuarts review. Today we're looking at Henry Cavill's Superman from the Justice League movie. And boy is this figure a mixed bag. There's some good stuff about it, but there's also a lot of bad about it. And judging from its final retail price, it's gonna be hard to say this figure is good. So what's wrong with it? Well, just looking at the figure you can see that the coloring is quite nice. It's definitely more saturated than BVS. The blue is good, the red is really nice on his logo, and the gold stands out too. The metallic blue lines on the bodysuit and the golden belt is also quite good. However, looking down, I do not like the shiny and oily look of his boots. Those look quite bad. It makes it hard for the nice metallic red lining on the top of the boots to stand out. Why are the boots so shiny? I recommend getting a little bit of a matte spray and just making it look a bit more natural, like the rest of the suit. Otherwise, the molding pattern on the suit is quite nice overall and does give off the whole movie look, so in that sense it's really great. There's also a lot of hidden detail behind the cape on the back of the suit, which is all very movie accurate. On the downside though is Superman's stomach area is far too skinny. Is it to hold the joints or whatever? Why is it like that? It looks like he's missing half a tummy. What this does is make his chest area look way bigger than the stomach, and also makes his upper legs look like chicken thighs. And once you see that, it is very distracting, making the proportions of the entire figure slightly off. I'm also not a fan of what they've done with the upper leg joints. They're cutting it up like that. I would have preferred it if they'd gone with I would have preferred it if the upper leg joint was well visible and using some sort of a ball joint. Similar to the new version of the Kamen Rider Ichigo figure, that would have looked really good for this. Or perhaps the recent Kamen Rider Build figure, or any other Kamen Rider figure in recent memory. I think the biggest problem here is why they tried to hide the upper leg joint. His leg plastic doesn't... The hip joint is not big enough to cover it up. Looking at the face here from a distance, he does kind of look like Henry Cavill, but at the same time, he also looks like Ken from Barbie. Something's just slightly off about his face. It's maybe perhaps a little bit too clean. It doesn't help that the fact that his entire hair area is a single color of brown and the edge of the hairline is far too sharp. Same goes to the hairline on the back of his ears. Those look really awkward. Henry Cavill's face is printed alright on my figure, but because this is a Tamashii Web exclusive, meaning you have no idea what's inside the box until you open it. I've not seen anyone else complaining about any face print issues, so you should be okay there. Another problem with the head area is that the neck is far too long. Looking at it from above, Christ, what's going on there? It looks like that weird long neck alien that's commentating on pod races in the Star Wars Phantom Menace movie. I don't get what they're going for here. If you push his head down, where you have him in the pose where he's floating in the sky looking down on you, yeah, his neck looks normal there, but any other position, it starts to look a little bit weird. From straightforward position, it looks acceptable, but this figure would have been much better if the neck was slightly shorter. Just like the Justice League release of Batman, the cape is presented here with a piece of fabric. The fabric coloring itself is quite nice, and the stitching on the edges is okay. There's a slight stretch to it, which hopefully means that it'll be harder to break. What I don't like about this cape though is that if you look at where it attaches to the torso, it looks like this figure's damaged, that I pulled the cape out from the joint, but no, that's how it's supposed to be. One side of it attaches to inside the torso, the other one just comes out, and the whole stitch line is also revealed. The stitch line at the edge of this cape is also presented right next to where your eyes are going to be focused to, the Superman logo and the face. Why did they do that? This is stupid. I would have much preferred it if this part of the cape was tucked in. I think another problem with this cape is that it only uses a single wire at the bottom of the cape, meaning unlike the Batman figure, the sides don't have any wires to help you pose this figure. Now I get it with Superman, especially in the newer movies, his cape flops around like sort of in a weird way, in a magical sense. It doesn't quite stay still, or it's not quite heavy as Batman's cape. But honestly, for figure and posing purposes, it would have been much better to have the extra wires going through the edge of the cape itself. And unfortunately for my figure, the wire is actually poking out of the edge of the cape, and I feel like I probably should just dip a bit of super glue there in case the wire keeps breaking and ripping through the fabric. And if it's not easy for the fabric to get damaged that way, then your mileage may vary, and posing it for a while, your cape might start to break as well, so that kind of sucks. Accessories, apart from the fists are very attached to him, he has 2 relaxed hands and 2 sort of grabby hands. He also has an alternative laser firing face that you attach to his neck. Articulation wise, he has double neck joints, so quite far down, quite far up, sideways, or broke his neck, and sideways, and got full rotation here. The upper arms have a double joint, of course. Not a fan that they didn't cut this for an extra elbow rotating joint, because it's easily done that and hitting it sort of with the muscle lining, so that's annoying there. But his hands can still move quite far forward for him to do the signature Superman pose, so that's nice, I suppose. Arm go quite far up and of course full rotation. Double elbow joint with molded details on the joint itself, that's quite good. Elbow joint can also rotate. Fist on a ball peg and swiveling joint. Torso can go quite far back, and this area has full 360 degrees rotation, however you can't really do sit-ups. Torso goes sideways and sideways. Leg can come down just a little bit to allow him to move his leg up. Sideways he can go fully flat if he wants to, but it just looks quite silly when it's that far up. And it goes back a little bit. Rotating joint here. Knee joint also has molding detail and it's double knee joint, quite good. Foot goes up, toe goes up, foot goes back, and sideways, sideways, and there's just a little bit of detail at the bottom of the boots. At the 1/12 scale, for something that's supposed to look more or less movie accurate, this is probably still the best Superman figure that you can get. The Mafex one costs a bit more, but the skin colors are wrong, but perhaps the proportions and joints might be a little bit better. Then again, Mafex stuff still has a tendency of breaking, so yeah. Mattel's in-house stuff just looks like garbage, not even that cheap. This is another brand costing quite a lot, it also looks like garbage. Simply put, while the SS Figuarts has some problems with it, it's still probably the best looking Henry Cavill Superman at the 1/12 scale. But is the price justified? Being a WG Web exclusive, it is quite an expensive SS Figuarts, and for the quality we're getting here, no, it's not right and it shouldn't be worth that price. However, there isn't a great alternative out there, which is just frustrating. And I think the price is going to be even more ridiculous if you're in the West trying to order this and ship it overseas. The SH Figuarts DCEU line has been a bit of a mixed bag. Wonder Woman was a bit okay, but the face wasn't quite right. The Flash looked pretty good. Batman's neck area was just off, and this Superman has some good merits, but also a lot of weird design choices. If you can afford it, this figure is okay, I suppose, but if you're not too bothered and you can wait, there'll probably be another better Superman figure coming along in the future. I just think it's a huge shame that this figure turned out this way. Oh, so what do you think about this Superman figure? Honestly, I'm mostly disappointed with this figure because there's so much good about it as much as there's bad. Leave a comment below on what you feel. If you haven't done so already, click the like button, subscribe button if you want to see more videos like this in the future, and of course share this video with other people who will find it useful. As always, you can support this channel by turning ad block off, or heading over to Patreon and helping out there. If you want to send any toys over for review, please feel free to contact me via the channel information page. As always, take care, have a nice day. I'll see you guys soon. Bye bye now.